Welcome to What's Cooking, New Ulm. I'm Rebecca Fliszar, the dietitian with the Heart Speak Back, Heart of New Ulm project, working to reduce and eventually eliminate heart attacks in the 56073 zip code. Welcome to a new season of What's Cooking. We have some great recipes and great guests. Today, Anna Laitinen is here with a wonderful recipe. Why don't you tell us what you'll be making and what it all entails?
Today we're going to be making veggie pizza, and I don't like following a recipe that much, so I like to just be creative each time and do something new. So first I started out with the pizza dough, and that is 1 teaspoon of sugar, and I use Truvia.
Okay. Truvia is one of our sugar substitutes. It's not going to count as a carbohydrate. It works well for diabetics, and it's going to reduce your overall calorie intake, so it is a substitution that you can make as well.
And then after that, I added 1.5 cups of warm water, 100 degrees, and 1 tablespoon of dry yeast, 1 tablespoon of olive oil, and 1 teaspoon of salt, 3 cups of wheat flour. And I just mixed that and then kneaded it and let it rise, and the active yeast made it double in size, and once it's double in size, then you can start working with it.
Now this is a great way to make your own homemade crust, and it is with all whole wheat flour, so that is what we're looking for. Remember, we're looking for half of our grains should come from whole wheat. However, if you're looking for a time-saving method, you can use the pre-made pizza doughs that are found at the grocery store. Just make sure you're looking for that whole wheat crust, and then you're going to ensure that you're having the healthiest pizza that you can have. Okay, so what's next?
Well, if you want a thick crust pizza, you can use the whole dough, but I think we're going to go thinner here because ours rose a little bit much. So
okay,
now I'll just try to get it on here.
Again, that's a great tip if you're diabetic or you're watching carbohydrates or keeping an eye on your calories. You don't have to use the entire dough. By having a thinner crust, you're going to have less calories in, and maybe that's how you enjoy it. So again, this is a recipe that you can tailor to your own likes. It's something that we encourage all the time on the cooking show. Make sure it's something you enjoy, your family enjoys, and that you'll make again. There's no good sense in making health foods if you're not going to eat them.
I think I'll need some more flour.
Okay, so the flour is going to actually take away the stickiness. It's going to make it a little bit more malleable and help spread this out just a little bit. So it's a good way to make sure that you're getting exactly what you need. And again, Anna's using the whole wheat flour, and it's what you're looking for at the grocery store as well.
All right. Get a little more from here.
Now, if you're making that thinner crust, your dough is actually enough to make 2 pizzas. So this is good for a budget-conscious meal as well, and it's something that can be kept. Once your dough rises, you want to make sure you keep it tightly covered in a sealed container, and that can be used at a later time as well.
Also, what you can do is make individual pizzas with the crusts too.
Yeah, that's great if you have kids when they want to choose their own toppings. So you can definitely make them on their own, so that's great.
It's great for when I babysit and stuff too, because then the kids can choose their own toppings, and they like doing that, and it gives them creativity and experience in the kitchen.
Oh, good.
So,
Anna, you've been one of our volunteer champions over the summer. Tell us a little bit about how you've been involved with the Heart of New Ulm and what got you started.
What got me started was my mom is a district leader, and so I've helped out a lot with doing a lot of the advertising through flyers, and I design lots of the flyers that my mom uses for her events. And once I got involved with that, I'm studying dietetics at St. Catherine University, so then I wanted some experience in that field, so I worked at St. Paul's School with the DAN program, which is not directly involved with Heart of New Ulm, but and I taught the 1st through 4th grades nutrition there. So it was a really enjoyable experience for them and for me.
Yeah, and we appreciate that. DAN program is our pediatric nutrition component through our community health committee, and we actually do introduce nutrition to those kids 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. primarily second, third, and fourth. Give them a good start. Make sure that they're practicing good heart health techniques as well, and hoping to prevent more heart attacks in our community in the future. So definitely a good link in, and you are one of our great teachers. So that's wonderful.
Yeah.
All right, Anna, looks like your pizza crust is about ready to go. What's our next step?
Yep, we're going to work on the pizza sauce now, but one more thing on the pizza crust, if you don't have a pizza pan, you can also do it in a regular cookie sheet, and then it can be a rectangular one and cut it into squares.
Great.
All right, so for our sauce, we are going to use 1 can of tomato paste and 2 tomatoes.
Okay, you can take that lid off for you.
And so we just put the tomatoes paste in the blender. You can use any kind of blender, even little ones like the Magic Bullet or anything. And what I like to do is see whatever I have in the house too and throw that in my tomato sauce. Any types of spices or garden products too, like cilantro or chives.
Yeah, this is a great time of the year to start working on this recipe with fresh tomatoes coming up. Anything you can think of, the broccoli, everything else that's in the garden is going to really fit in there well. So herb gardens should be at their peak as well.
All right, and then I will cut up the tomatoes.
Now again, this is going to go to personal preference. So you can put more tomato chunks in there if you like the heavier tomatoes, or if you want to go less on those, you can do that as well. So what other ingredients will go into our sauce here?
The basil leaf and Italian seasoning.
Okay.
And the garlic here too.
Okay, great. Garlic is one of our foods that we always recommend. Go ahead and add that to taste. So if you're not a big garlic fan, remember to leave that out. As I always say, if you don't like the health foods, there's no sense making them. Every family is going to have their own preference. But remember, garlic is one of our great health foods and excellent for your heart health. So if you do like it, go ahead and throw in a little extra. Now, Anna, as a dietetics student, do you have a preference on what you'll be going into? Have you enjoyed being part of the community health?
Yeah, I would really like to eventually find some type of job similar to yours with working with the Heart of New Ulm, and I think that would be a great way to educate people because I really like the education aspects of it too.
Good.
So.
Anna's mother is Carol Laitinen, one of our district leaders, and she's with the Dusseldorf district. Now they have a lot of fun events coming up here for the fall. What are some of those that we can look for?
I think they're doing a dancing one.
Yeah, they're doing 50s and 60s dancing.
Yeah.
And it looks like they'll have a triathlon coming up, and they have a lot of other fun events as well. So your mom too has been one of our great champions.
Geocaching too.
Geocaching, that's right. Through our Community Health Challenge, we have lots of different events and opportunities for you to become involved. You know, if you're not sure what you like to do, come and try some of our new events. We have salsa dancing, we have 50s and 60s coming up. We'll be having a sock hop this winter and lots of other activities. We have different races and runs, and any opportunity that you'd like to stay physically active, eat well, and make sure you're maintaining your stress level. So check out our website at heartspeakback.org, and that's where you'll find some of our great events that are coming up soon. All right, so that looks great.
All right, and just finishing up this tomato.
Okay. So these were really just normal steak tomatoes. You can put in any kind you like. The big boys are usually very good at this time of the year as well. Any kind of tomato is going to fit well in here. Sometimes we like to add a little bit of cilantro or other peppers that are going to add a little zing. Or you can add those on the top for toppings as we go through this recipe as well. Oops, sorry, I almost forgot the garlic.
All right.
There you go.
Oh.
That's fine.
Okay. So.
About 1 teaspoon is 1/4 of a clove of garlic. So when you're measuring this out, since we already have our pre-measured garlic, keep that in mind. 1/4 of a teaspoon is about 1 small clove.
Yep, and then we add the Italian seasoning.
And the basil.
And the basil.
we'll lock her down.
Oh, actually, and we can add some black pepper.
Some pepper.
There we go.
We're ready, right?
Yep.
Okay. Go. You want to get that on there?
All right. So here we go. All right.
Okay. So this looks like it's going to be a little thin, but it's going to stand up pretty well once it gets into the oven. Is that right, Annie?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
It smells great.
Then we can just pour it on our crust. And just even it out along the crust.
Okay.
And you can put as much or as little on, depending on your tastes.
Now you'll notice that we did have some salt in our tomato paste. As we spread this out over our pizza, you're going to find that you're going to have very low salt content in this recipe. So don't be afraid by that tomato paste, even though it might look a little high. We are spreading this out over 8 portions, so your salt intake will be quite low. Remember, sodium does affect those that have high blood pressure or any kind of fluid retention, and does have an effect on our overall heart health. So keep an eye on it. We're looking for less than 2,000 milligrams of sodium per day. Watch it in your recipes.
All right. So now we can start cutting the vegetables to go on the pizza.
So what vegetables are you choosing today, Anna?
I have some peppers and olives, some portobello mushrooms, and spinach and broccoli.
Great.
So.
Great. Well, while Anna begins the cutting process on these vegetables, let's go ahead and check in with Holly and see what's new for Fit in 5.
Welcome to today's Fit in 5. You know, all of us like to sit down and relax and watch a TV show with our family or alone, even now and again. But if you're like me, it can be kind of hard sometimes to actually sit and watch without doing something else at the same time. Well, what better way to get some physical activity in than while watching one of your favorite TV shows? Over the course of the next couple of segments, we're going to talk about how we can incorporate physical activity into our routine while we are, or into our day, while we're actually watching our favorite TV program. Today we're going to go ahead and start with upper body. We've talked in past times before about how you can add resistance to your workout. And I've told you a little bit about using water jugs filled with varying amounts of water for resistance. But today, I actually have some canned goods with me. And 99.9% of us are going to have these in our cupboard. We're going to have big cans or small cans. So we can use varying weights for varying resistance for exercises. So like I said, today we're going to start with upper body. We can do these activities standing, or we can also do them sitting, and I have with me also a chair today, so I'll show you a couple different ways to do these. We want to start by doing a basic bicep curl. So I'm going to take my cans or my resistance here and just put them to the side. I'm going to stand up nice and tall. My elbows are going to be in nice and tight, and I'm just going to curl the cans about 12 times. Then I'm going to take about a 30-second rest, and I'm going to do the same thing again. Now, if I find these cans are a little light, I can go get heavier cans, or again, I can break out my milk jugs. If I want to do these seated, very simply, we just sit in a chair. We're going to sit up nice and tall at the edge of the chair so the arms are out of the way, and we're going to do our bicep curl this way. You can do one arm and then the other. So there's a variety of different ways to do this. Well, because we did the biceps or the front of the arms, we always want to do the triceps. That's what we call opposing muscle groups. So the triceps are the opposing muscle group to the biceps, so it's really important for balance that we do both muscle groups. So for triceps, what we can do is I can actually put both my soup cans in one hand. I can bring my arm into the side, and then I can extend back and in with the arm. And you want to make sure to notice that my elbows are nice and tight. and I'm only moving from the elbow down. So my whole arm isn't going back. I'm actually extending it back and in. Now, if you have pretty good flexibility in your arms, you can also do these over the head. So you bring the elbows into the ear and you extend up and down. So it would be the same thing. You're going to do these about 12 times, take about a 30-second break, and then do another set. Now, if I want to do these in my chair, I can actually use my chair for my resistance. As long as I have a good sturdy chair and not a folding chair or something that can collapse underneath me, I'm going to set my soup cans down, or my food cans down, and I can come to the edge of the chair and sit off the edge and actually dip down and up. So it's going to work the same muscle group, just in a little bit different way. So that's another way to work the triceps or the back of the arm. The last thing we're going to work for upper body today is going to be the shoulders. And there's all different kinds of exercises for the shoulders. So again, we can stand, we can bring the cans to the side, and we can just do a lateral raise up and down. So this is called a lateral shoulder raise. We want to make sure that the elbows stay soft, we don't lock them, and that we're lifting up no farther than shoulder height. We really don't want to come clear up here. We just want to prevent some type of shoulder impingement. So we're going to come up shoulder level and down. Now, if I want to sit, it's going to be kind of hard to lift to the side. I can do a different exercise where I'm seated and my arms are here, and I'm going to press straight up and then come right back down again and press straight up and back down. Same thing, we're going to do about 12 of those. Take a 30-second break and then go back again. If you do about 2 or 3 sets of these exercises, you're going to feel a lot of strength and flexibility in the muscles groups of your upper body in no time. For today's Fit in 5, I'm Holly. Have a great day.
Thanks, Holly. Make sure you're staying active, lowering your stress level, and being involved in our Heart of New Ulm Community Health Challenge events. All right, Anna, where are you at?
Well, now we're putting on the vegetables. So right now I'm putting on some orange peppers.
Great.
And some yellow pepper.
Now remember, each pepper is going to have a different flavor. Your yellow are going to be a little bit more sweet, as well as the orange. So if you're not big on green pepper flavor, go ahead and try some of the other colors. You might find yourself pleasantly surprised with the different flavors.
And finally, the green pepper.
Great. This is going to be really a nice, colorful pizza. It's going to have really great flavor, and it's full of vegetables. We're going to get 1 to 2 vegetable servings just out of this pizza alone, so that's excellent.
I also like using, if you have leftover sauce, to use that to dip chips in or something for
good idea. Yeah.
a salsa. Here's the onions.
So this pizza, you could really add anything you want. I mean, you can really vary these vegetables. Anything coming out of the garden now would be great to add on here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Good.
And here are the portobello mushrooms.
Portobellos are going to have a very distinct flavor over our traditional mushrooms. Make sure you try those first. They are going to be quite different. If you're not a fan of the portobello, go ahead with our traditional mushrooms. They're still going to be full of nutrients, high in vitamin D, and a good source of many of our nutrients.
All right, and I just spread it over evenly. And finally, a little broccoli.
Great.
And I just break that up nice and small so that it doesn't overpower.
Okay. Even things like radishes and other vegetables will add great flavor to this pizza. It's going to give you lots of different nutrients, and it's going to be fun to make. So, whatever is on sale at the grocery store, whatever's coming fresh out of your garden, are all going to fit onto this pizza and really add a lot of flavor.
And our final vegetable is spinach, too. So you can break that up a little.
Okay. Because we chose the thin crust, this is going to be a quick bake pizza. We're going to look for 10 to 15 minutes in the oven on this one, and it's going to be ready to go. Make sure you're keeping a close eye on that. Once your crust starts to turn a little bit of a golden brown, you want to pull that out. Your vegetables are going to cook very quickly as well. We want some of them to stay a little bit crispy. We don't want those to be too soggy. So keep a close eye on this pizza when it's in the oven.
All right, and finally we have our cheeses. I have mozzarella and cheddar.
And we did choose our reduced fat. Be careful with the sodium on this, so we're going to watch our portion sizes on this. They do still fit into that heart-healthy diet, as long as we don't overdo our quantity on that. This is just for a little bit of flavor and a little bit of texture that the cheese is going to provide.
The nice thing about pizza, if you do it the healthy way, is that you can get almost all your food groups in one.
That's right. That's true. You know, oftentimes we think of pizza as a very not healthy food, but if you do it right, we sure can make it as healthy as we need it to be.
Yep. And that's what I really discouraged the kids that I taught last year against eating pizza, because often they'll get it from the stores, and actually you can make it really healthy. And finally, for some protein, I'll add some black beans.
Yeah, it looks great.
And you might want to, depending on the way you like it, you can add more or less beans. So.
Okay. And that's right. Beans, remember, are a great source of fiber. They're high in protein and they don't contain any cholesterol. So it's a wonderful source of protein to be putting onto our food. So that's excellent. Let me get that for you.
All right.
We'll use your knife there.
All right.
And this is just going to add a little bit of that extra zing at the end. Put that on top to make sure it all melts nice, and then it's going to be ready for the oven.
Yep, and it helps keep everything in place too.
Good. It's amazing how much color is in this pizza. It's great.
Yeah. All right.
Well, while we let this bake off, we're going to go ahead and take a little break, and we'll be back when this is ready to come back on out of the oven.
All right.
All right, Anna, well, this looks great. This is a beautiful finished product. We've got lots of vegetables, plenty of protein, and like you said, a complete meal. So how big would you cut these portions?
Probably into 8 pieces.
Okay, and one serving size is just 1 piece, but you know, this is going to be great, full of nutrition, high fiber, so 2 pieces might work for a great meal. So Anna, we sure appreciate you coming in today. This is great, and I look forward to trying the pizza out. Thanks for being here.
Yes, thank you.
That's it for this week's episode of What's Cooking, you all. We'll see you next week.